All right. So, blue beam is pretty much like the conspiracy theory of all theories.
It's like the
Pretty much.
culmination of a lot of different theories out there. I mean, you could even maybe even tie it back if you really wanted to like Knights Templar shit and Freemasons and shit like that. You know what I mean? This is the power elite's ultimate goal. I mean, the New World Order
Yes.
boogeyman type. You know, the powers, the hidden secret, shadowy organizations and stuff like that. Their ultimate goal.
Yep. Basically, it's just to get everybody into a one world government is
Hmm.
what it ultimately boils down to. It is a, I guess, staged alien invasion slash rapture if you're a Christian, um, to where there's going to be an epic like light show, if you will, in the sky, holographic kind of light show. So it'll look like an alien invasion if you're atheist. It'll look like a rapture if you're Christian, and it goes as far as even like pulling people into the sky. I'm not sure what technology that would be. As far as the uh, projector light show itself, I mean, I think that definitely is doable. I know. I think they planned on doing it to get Fidel Castro out of office, or out of power at one time,
Hmm.
and they planned it in the Middle East as at one time too.
A lot of this basically came about in 1994 through a Canadian journalist or conspiracy theorist, whatever you want to call him, Sergei Monast, is where a lot of this stuff. This is how the public started to become aware of what's going on. It was through this guy, along with another unnamed journalist, supposedly too as well. They both had heart attacks. Um, or heart attacks, however you want to
It
look
was
at
like
it. I mean,
same week
uh,
heart attacks.
yeah, like right, like step one of this. Okay, which we're really diving into this. Step one requires the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge. Okay, so think about how many times in the past 40, 50, 60 years, right? There's some type of expedition, and an archaeologist or dig in looking for dinosaur bones, and they find piece of Noah's Ark. You know what I mean? Or they find some, you know what I mean, biblical, era, thing or something like that. That's like, oh wow, this actually confirms that this actually did happen. You know what I mean? There's actually a lot of proof of different things like Jesus did walk the earth, Dead Sea Scrolls, things like that. You know what I mean? They uncover.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine this: a bunch of earthquakes happen, right? And in the it actually says of faking earthquakes, but I mean, you could actually just jump off the tail of an earthquake. You can go to Afghanistan and just sit there for 3 months. You're going to feel a big ass earthquake at some point. You know what I'm saying? And so, essentially, what it is you fake new discoveries, right, at different points across the world, right? And then these discoveries, you know what I mean, fully explain the error of all religions, right? How they're all misguided or misdirected, and it's really this thing, right? The New World Order religion, essentially, right?
Right.
So that's essentially what you would need to do if you were going to create a global religion. You got to discredit all the religions that are already out there.
Right. It's like they're trying to get it to it's Satanism or like a worship of man kind of religion is kind of what it alludes to.
One thing I want to point out though, that's an example of this, is the Shroud of Turin. Okay, which is believed to be a genuine shroud of Jesus, opposed to the medieval forgery, what have you. So essentially, it's one of those things that can prove or disprove, you know what I mean, types of things that have been found. So if you were to purposely implant these things, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm-hmm.
you would obviously have to have scientists on board and different people to like get a consensus, kind of like how global warming and climate change is right now. Whether if you're not part of the cabal, you ain't getting the funding. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're either in or you're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're whatever your opinion. If it's not in line with everybody else,
Then
it's
they're going to
you're
go
out.
to destroy you. You're going to be made to look
Exactly,
the fool.
exactly. So,
Yes.
and then now step two is really where it starts to get bananas. You know what I mean? And that's
This is
that's
the
where you were
space
alluding
show.
to. This is the space show essentially. So step two involves a gigantic space show where you got three-dimensional holographic laser projections. And it essentially being beamed all over the planet. Now they've alluded to in some of the stuff I was reading about satellites being able to do this potentially. That you're essentially projecting it like within 60 meters of the salt layer of the Earth or something like that, or the atmosphere or something like that. And I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really understand a lot of this stuff, like what they're talking about. Like, you know what I mean? If this is really true, you really need somebody that has some type of scientific, understanding, you know what I mean, of like deep understanding of atmospheric, you know what I mean? Like, how would you make a projection actually beam across
Right.
the Earth, but not look like a projection?
That's
You know?
kind of what a lot of people are like alluding. A lot of the sightings that have been seen too is this these projections. Like there's been recent sightings of UFOs in Australia, South America. Even I know there's been parts of America still, but anyways, there's been a lot of recent sightings, and they're saying a lot of them they think are these projections of them testing these projections. There's one video, I can't think of the exact location of this one. I think this was the South American one, but it shows like the UFO. This dude's recording it. It's almost like a blue light, and it kind of goes through the mountain and disappears. And they're like
I know what you're talking
projection.
about. I've seen it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that could be the case. I do believe Bob Lazar, and I believe we have UFOs, but I do believe that there can be projections. I guess it could be a thing. I think we could figure out how to do it.
So, and then essentially it goes into detail how this these radio signals, right, that are going to be sent, these that are going to go out. They're not just going to go out to every man, woman, and child, but you're literally going to be hearing things in your head. Okay, what they want you to hear, whether it's and it's going to be broken down by religious,
Yeah, I think this part
degrees, right?
is
Okay,
far
but
fetched.
this is this is where it gets ridiculous, So if you're a Southern Baptist like myself, right? You're gonna be hearing Jesus talking to you, right? But if you're in the Middle East and you're in Baghdad, it's Allah. But if it's this, it's if you're Buddhist, it's Buddha or whatever, right? And somehow they're going to be able to determine what your predisposition for religion is. You know what I mean? And this is in the age of whatever the hell's going on in our culture right now, where people are self-identifying as bananas, and you know what I mean, and rainbow warlords and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's bananas. You know what I mean? So like,
I think
it's
it's hilarious that atheists are going to hear Richard Dawkins. I just
oh
think it's fucking.
yeah. That's the other one. That's the other one. That's that.
They
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
pinpointed a person for this.
Specifically, Richard Dawkins is
That's
the god of
amazing.
atheism. It's basically, essentially, it's telepathic electronic two-way communication, right?
Yeah.
Is and now we're going into telepathy, and this is all phase 3. So this is going to be used to basically to begin the final phase, which is step 4. It's essentially making everybody think like the rapture's happening or an alien invasion's happening or whatever, right? To scare the hell out of everybody, kind of like what I was alluding to with World of Worlds or Independence Day, where you look up and it's like, holy shit, there's really actually like aliens coming down from the sky or whatever. And then somehow this is going to allow you to be willing to accept the new world order.
Reagan and Clinton both said similar, basically, stage an alien invasion and everybody would unite, which I think is true. I mean, I do think people would put their petty differences aside, but
It's like legit, you know what I mean? You went outside, you watched some aliens blasting people with
right,
blasters out in your front yard. Like, yeah, bro, it's you're fucking team human at that point.
right.
Once all this is complete, step 4 has fully been implemented. All this bizarre shit has finally happened. All people are going to be required to take an oath to Lucifer with a ritual initiation to enter the new world order.
Oh, because
Resistors
yeah,
will be categorized as follows.
the
All right, that,
uh the light show
mhm.
basically after is said and done, all the gods, this is in there, all the gods in the sky basically merge into one, and that's Lucifer. So if whether you were Islam, Christian, an atheist, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be one God, and that's Satan, Lucifer.
Step one is Christian children will be kept for human sacrifice or sexual slaves. Two,
Joe Biden.
two, yeah, it's gonna be like the Lolita Express. You know what I mean? Like permanently. Number two, prisoners to be used in medical experiments. Fun. Three, prisoners to be used as live-in organ banks. One thing about the we were talking about, Manasse, RJ Manasse, and there was supposedly another Quebec journalist for conspiracy theorists that was killed too as well. That's not named. I don't know how you could know somebody's been killed, but they're not named. So
Oh yeah, the whole other journalist. Like,
it's very
I'm,
weird, right?
I'm
It's
gonna
like
look
it's
fucking.
noted in everything. You go to all the different, sources that you can find on this stuff, and it's a lot of this stuff is gone too. So I think if you're really going to dig into something like this, you got to go back into I think we have to go back to the Wayback Machine. You know what I mean? And then look for older articles. You know what I mean, that have been archived, because some of this stuff's just been removed.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of mention. The thing I wanted to go back to is a lot of mention of the Canadian government kidnapping Manasse' daughter, and supposedly,
Oh, I seen
like,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
read
did you
that.
see that too as well?
Mm-hmm.
And she's supposedly gone or something like that, like his daughter. Like they can't find his daughter or something like that. So I didn't know if you had looked at anything further on it. I couldn't really find anything else on it. You know what I mean? That a lot of the stuff that's on there, like I said, is gone.
The one
But
percenters hater.